Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we start our showcase Kapasiti Pedagogi Pembelajaran Bermakna and Opd-Kppb semester 1 sesi 2023-2024 peringkat kluster 4 Ipgmktho, I would like to show our big idea. We come up with creative and innovative planning, initiate active learning, which means perancangan yang kreatif dan inovatif mencetus pembelajaran aktif. Before that, I would like to introduce the members who have been working hard in this showcase with our big idea creative and innovative planning initiate active learning. We will introduce first with our supervisor, Puan Norzana binti Muhammad Noor, lecturer of Science, Technology and Science Social, and the group members. I am Adeline Farzana binti Anwar, Nur Iliana binti Rudi Hartono, Ainur Shasha Tihani binti Ahmad Nazli, and lastly, Rohayu binti Abdul Rahim. Today, we gather to explore a topic of paramount importance in the realm of education, the pedagogical capacity of meaningful learning. Imagine a classroom where students are not just memorizing facts for exams, but truly understanding, applying, and retaining knowledge that will serve them beyond the classroom walls. Today, we are unpacking the curriculum between primary school science education, SCES 3274, and inclusive science teaching, SCES 3332. First of all, we go through the synopsis of primary school science education. Primary school science education, this course focuses on introduction to science curriculum and pedagogy and also includes the understanding of science nature, science curriculum changes in Malaysia, teaching and learning approaches and strategies, as well as science assessment applications in teaching and learning. Emphasis is placed on the application of current pedagogical practice that include meaningful learning pedagogy capacity, KPPB. This course is offered so that students can master the knowledge and skills in planning and delivering science teaching and learning in primary schools while also taking into account the issues in science education in Malaysia. Next, we're going to go through synopsis of inclusive science teaching. This course focuses on the history, goals, implementation, and role of inclusive education. This course also focuses on the concept, approach, and implementation of inclusive science teaching in Malaysia. As a result, this course demands that students comprehend the idea and practice of inclusive scientific education with a focus on science instruction in Malaysia's mainstream schools. Next, we are going through the course information. Primary School Science Education SCES 3274. We have concluded that the course information to see roughly about what students will learn in this course. For primary school science education, the course classification is a core elective and the credit value is 4. In this course, the students will achieve 4 CLO, which includes in 6 topics. Meanwhile, for the inclusive science subject, students will achieve 3 CLO in 4 topics. Next.
Okay, next we will go through the KPPB implementation model. It includes 4 models. The first one is Pembelajaran Bermakna 6C. The second one is Pembelajaran model reka bentuk pembelajaran. The third one is rigor, relevant and relationship. Okay, the fourth one is 3E. Okay. Okay, next is disassemble standards based on course information. We have 2 courses. The first one is SEES 3274. Primary School Science Education. The second one is SEES 3332, Inclusive Science Teaching. Okay, we go to primary school science education. We have three CLO. The first one is justifying the change in the science curriculum and its relevance to the philosophy of education and its application in the teaching and learning of science. C5, PLO2, and KKG4. Okay, next, CLO2, building digital resources based on current learning characteristic. C6, A4, PLO2, PLO6, KKG8, and KMD2. Okay, next is CLO3, implementing micro teaching by applying appropriate approach and strategy. C3, A2, PLO2, PLO5, KKG, and KMI4. Okay, we go to inclusive science teaching. Okay, there are three CLO. CLO1 explain the concept, history, implementation, and rules of inclusive education, C2 and PLO1. Okay, the next is CLO2, analyze the concept, the importance of inclusive science, issue and challenges in the implementation of science inclusive teaching in mainstream primary school classroom in Malaysia, C4, PLO2, KKG2. Okay, the last one is CLO3, produce science teaching and learning activities for children with special needs education, visual impairment, hearing impairment, learning disability, speech delay, physical disability, and gifted. In the, in the mainstream classroom, C6, A2, PLO2, PLO9, KKG8, and KMP2.
All right, I will continue the presentation with course learning outcome. The big idea to disassemble these two courses is creative and innovative planning initiate active learning, or perancangan yang kreatif dan inovatif mencetus pembelajaran aktif. So this shows a meeting point between course learning outcomes of primary school science education course and inclusive science teaching course. Next, success criteria for primary school science education. Students can prepare and building digital resources based on current learning characteristics which involve in the activity of a micro teaching. Students can prepare the video of accessing current issues on education and implementation of science assessment. For inclusive science teaching, students can produce science teaching and learning activities for children with special needs education in the mainstream classroom. There are topics that related to each other in these two courses. For primary school science education, topic 5 of primary school science, which is teaching, planning and implementation, and topic 3 of inclusive science teaching, which is strategies, technique, and assessment of inclusive science teaching. As we can see, topic 5 and 3 have similarities in terms of teaching and planning that allows us to compile and produce a teaching plan that includes a daily lesson plan and individual education plan. We continue with the student assessment. For primary school science education, you can click this button to see our continuous assessment. There are 3 tasks for the primary school science education course. For inclusive science teaching, there are 2 assignments for this course. The task that disassemble these 2 courses is task 2 of inclusive science teaching, which is individual education plan, IEP. This task is carried out by producing science teaching and learning activities for children with special needs education in the mainstream classroom. The characteristic of DLO Meaningful Learning 2 are 6C and Learning Design Model. Desired learning for this task, number 1, I learn about the needs of children with special needs education in the mainstream classroom. Number two, I learn about appropriate activities to teach the children with special needs. And number three, I learn to produce science teaching and learning activities for children with special needs education in mainstream classroom. Next, success criteria for this task. Number one, I can design lesson plans that meet the needs of children with special needs education. Number two, I can design and appropriate activities to teach the children with special needs. And number three, I can produce science teaching and learning activities for children with special needs education in mainstream classroom.
We will continue the presentation of the project-based learning section. There are 4 steps. For essential questions part, we will see for primary school science education subjects first. The essential question is, first, how far the students alert about the current issues related to education and implementation of science assessment? And the answer is access to information. Students who actively seek information beyond school curriculum and use a variety of sources, including the internet, news, media, and academic journals, are more likely to be informed about current issues in education and science assessment. Another answer is extracurricular activities. Students involved in science clubs, academic competitions, and extracurricular activities related to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics fields may have a higher awareness of science assessment issues. The second essential question is, how can students apply daily lesson in digital resources? And the answer is educational websites. Explore educational websites such as Khan Academy, Coursera, EDX, or academic YouTube channel, which offer video lectures, quizzes, and tutorials related to your lessons. For inclusive science teaching, the The question is how teachers can make activities related to inclusive education students. Teachers understand the concept of inclusive education deeply before building teaching aids. Technology assisted learning, integrated technology tools and apps that can be adjusted to meet individual needs, such as text to speech software, screen readers, or language translation tools. The most interesting part is the student task outcomes. First, we will look at the disassembled lesson plan, which are the daily lesson plan, also known as RPH, and the individual education plan, also known as RPI. You can see or click a button to see the result of student assignment. The following is a video of implementation of micro-teaching in the classroom using the daily lesson plan of the primary school science education course. Dear lecturers and friends, here are the teaching aids for macro-teaching. This is the experimental material and this is the result, which is the human lung model, and the last one is the organ board. Finally, this is the Nini maze. This Nini maze slides explain about the objective of this game, and the rest is about the breathing organs involved, and the most interesting part is the Nini maze. Before we end our presentation, here are some proof during the class.
Okay, the last one is reflection. Meaningful learning encourages students to think critically and make connection between new information and their existing knowledge. Educators with strong pedagogical capacity and create environments that promote inquiry-based learning, problem solving and analytical thinking, fostering students' ability to engage deeply with the material. Disassemble the curriculum between SES 3274 Primary Science Education and SEES 332 Inclusive Science Teaching. Involve preparing students for real-world application of their knowledge. This approach equips learners with skills and competency that go beyond memorization, empowering them to apply what they are learned in practical scenario. In summary, the importance of pedagogical capacity for meaningful learning lies in its potential to create rich, engaging, and effective learning experience that lead to improved student outcomes, critical thinkings, and long-term retention of knowledge.